How you doing? I'm Callan and this is Slapped Ham. Today we're looking at some creepy images. From a ghost photographed in a Bolivian hospital to a possible Grim Reaper sighting in a nursing home. We explore these hospital ghost sightings that have patients and staff worried. But before we get into it, remember to hit that subscribe button for more awesome creepy content just like this.
This unsettling image was first posted to Reddit in 2014 by user Eskimo Jake. They claim that their friend, who was a doctor, took this picture while working at a Bolivian hospital in 2010. Supposedly, the doctor and his friends didn't initially notice the elevator door opening as they were too busy laughing and joking around. When they finally did see it, there was no one inside. If you take a closer look at the ghostly figure, you can see that it appears to be female with long black hair. Her face looks pale and gaunt and she seems to be wearing a hospital gown. Has the doctor actually managed to photograph a ghost in the elevator? If so, could it be that of a former patient? Perhaps even someone who may have passed away while being treated at this very hospital. There's very little information available about this photo, other than it was taken at St. Francis Hospital in Tulsa, Oklahoma. At first glance, it doesn't appear the camera has captured anything unusual at all. That is until you spot the ghostly nurse standing on the far side of the bed. St. Francis Hospital was founded in 1955, and some claim that this photograph may show the ghost of a former nurse who worked there. With her long white apron and her hair neatly tucked under a hat, the figure's appearance certainly resembles a nurse from that era. While it certainly is an unsettling image, the lack of available information makes it a lot harder to judge its authenticity. That said, I'm sure the last thing you'd want to see after waking up in hospital is the ghostly face of a nurse from a bygone era blankly staring down at you. This creepy video was first uploaded to Paranormal Seekers TK's YouTube channel in 2010. Reportedly filmed in a hospital somewhere in Mexico, the footage shows an orderly laughing and joking around in front of the camera, when suddenly a mysterious dark figure walks by the window. The two decide to investigate. They open the door and head into what appears to be an empty operating theatre. Suddenly, a table begins to move on its own. The startled pair rush for the door. As they do, the camera holder does a full 360-degree sweep of the room. There's clearly no one else in there, and there's no other door that the figure could have entered or exited from. So who exactly was the shadowy figure? Some think it may have been the ghost of a former patient that passed away in this very operating room. This photo was taken in the Grevillea wing of the Beechworth Lunatic Asylum in Victoria, Australia, by ghost hunters Raylene Cable and Alan Tiller. They took the photo while investigating the grounds at Beechworth and believe that it shows the spirit of a young girl kneeling on the floor. The figure certainly does look like a child. It appears to be wearing a nightgown and looks as though it's holding something in its right hand, possibly a doll or teddy bear. Beechworth Asylum was famous for its lax rules regarding institutionalization. With only 2 signatures, a person could be committed. Almost 10,000 people died in the building, the patients often restrained and treated with electroshock therapy. Beechworth is reportedly haunted by the ghost of a young Jewish woman who was mysteriously thrown to her death from a window. Because of strict religious beliefs, her body lay decomposing on the ground for 2 days while a rabbi came from Melbourne to officially move the body. Several visitors claim they've seen a young girl under the window where the incident happened. Another traumatic tale is that of a missing patient who couldn't be found for weeks. Finally, his body was discovered by a local dog named Max near the gatehouse at the edge of the property. A search party was assembled to search the area and they eventually found the patient's body up a tree. Since then, people have reported seeing a man wandering around the gatehouse at night. Countless other paranormal sightings have taken place at Beechworth Lunatic Asylum. Visions of doctors walking down dark hallways, screams, nurses kneeling by bedsides. One ghost hunter says a demonic voice told him to get out and leave the asylum. Is it possible that this photograph has captured the ghostly vision of one of the former patients of Beechworth? Could it be that the dark history of this property is so traumatic that the souls of employees and residents are forced to wander the grounds forever? This photo was supposedly taken at an unnamed nursing home just minutes after one of the residents had passed away. According to the story, several staff members and residents heard the door to one of the rooms opening and closing, and the room's call light also kept mysteriously turning on and off despite the fact that there was no one inside. Many believe that this photo shows the ghost of the resident and that it was them opening and closing the door. Others think that the dark, shadowy figure may actually be the Grim Reaper sent to collect the soul of the deceased. It's up to you to decide which story you believe, but either way it certainly makes for a very unsettling photo. Peoria State Hospital in Bartonville, Illinois was a psychiatric hospital that operated from 1902 to 1973. At its peak, it was home to more than 2,800 patients, many of whom claimed to have had supernatural encounters. This photo was taken at the hospital by an unknown photographer. By the looks of the boarded up window, it was possibly an urban explorer who visited the hospital long after it had been shut down. At first, it seems the photo shows very little, but when you adjust the brightness, it appears to reveal a tall figure standing at the end of the corridor. It also becomes evident there are two glowing orbs present as well. Many people often report seeing orbs similar to these when visiting places that are believed to be haunted. Over the years, Peoria State Hospital has become famous for several ghostly tales, the most well known of which is the legend of the Graveyard Elm. The story goes that there was once a patient by the name of Manuel A. Bookbinder, who also worked at the hospital with the burial crew. When he passed away, over 100 patients and staff who were attending his funeral all claimed to have seen his ghost crying under an old elm tree in the potter's field. Could it be possible that the shadowy figure seen in this photograph is actually the ghost of Manuel A. Bookbinder? Love to hear your thoughts on this one in the comments section below. This photo first appeared online sometime around 2012. It was supposedly captured in the Clemente Alvarez Emergency Hospital in Argentina by a staff member known only as Diego. Prior to the photo being taken, several staff members reported seeing the wheelchair moving down the hallway all by itself. Around the same time, this photo was taken in the Keith Haven Assisted Living nursing home in Flint, Michigan. It shows a very similar figure rolling down a hallway in a wheelchair. The employee who captured the picture said she saw it with her own eyes and quickly grabbed her phone to take a photo. The apparition appears to have dark, sunken eyes and a wide open mouth. It also looks rather decrepit and thin. The white shirt that the figure is wearing seems to be too large for its frail frame. If these images are indeed authentic, I certainly wouldn't want to be a member of the night staff at either of these creepy hospitals. This spine-chilling photo first appeared on social media in 2014, and since then has become rather well known. There are several stories of its origin, however the most common one is that a nurse in a hospital took a screenshot of a security camera that was monitoring patients in the ward. She claims that she saw a demon-like figure walking up and down the bed of one particular patient. It had long black legs and eerie slender fingers. When she went to the ward to check on the patient, there was no sign of the figure in the room. However, the patient's vitals began declining rapidly and the person passed away shortly after. While many believe the nurse's story to be true, several skeptics claim that the demon is nothing more than a series of objects that are coincidentally lined up, giving the effect of a lurking creature. What do you think? Could this photo actually be evidence of a demon collecting the souls of the sick and frail, or is it nothing more than a mere coincidence? Opened in Mexico City in 1847, Hospital Juarez is an active medical center known for sightings of La Planchada, the Iron Lady, a ghostly nurse from the mid-1900s who appears in a perfectly pressed nurse's uniform. Over the years, La Planchada has come to be known for treating patients in the hospital's emergency section, often bringing about miraculous recoveries. This photo is believed by many to be the only one to have ever captured proof of the ghostly nurse as she makes her rounds. Like many ghost stories, there are several versions of the tale of La Planchada. Some say that she was a nurse in love with a doctor who rejected her and drove her to suicide. Others claim she would euthanize patients to relieve their pain. Whatever her origins, La Planchada is known as a benevolent spirit, and there probably isn't a patient in Hospital Juarez who wouldn't be happy to see her. Before we get to that number 1 spot and take a look at some of the most eerie ghost footage ever captured, remember to hit that subscribe button and turn on channel notifications. That way you'll be updated about all our latest videos. In 2016, this video footage surfaced, reportedly shot at the school hospital Universitario in Honduras. It shows a ghost-like figure emerging from the door on the right-hand side of the corridor. The apparition seems to be aware of the camera person's presence, as it appears to look straight at them from the doorway. It then hesitates for a moment before walking right into the corridor. Naturally, the camera holder seems startled as they stumble backwards through a set of doors. After the video was released, rumours began circulating that it may actually be the ghost of a former doctor who had taken their own life. Many who work there believe that the doctor's ghost still haunts the hospital's hallways, with reports of lights mysteriously switching on and off in several of the patients' rooms. This is certainly a very striking clip, and if it's genuine, may well be some of the best ghost footage ever captured.
For more unsettling, creepy content, click that embedded link there, or there's a playlist link in the description box below for you to binge on. Hit that upward facing thumb as well, because it lets us know you're enjoying the content. And that's it for me. I'll see you all next time.